This is Jack Punkington here, and today we're going to go over the top 5 EPs/albums that came out this year that are all local artists that I fell in love with. I have an honorable mention that I'm going to go with first, and that is the Boy Detectives cover of Jumpin' Jumpin' by Destiny's Child, featuring Pixie from the Killing Pixies. It is a great song that just gets you hyped up to go do something or rock out and have a good time. Whenever I start a walk, it's kind of one of the things I listen to or work out. Just be like, yeah, let's get energized and stuff, you know. And including Pixie is just great because it's a cool back and forth between Benny, the lead singer of the Boy Detective, and Pixie, like. You know, one's verse, one's the other verse, and then they combine on the chorus. It's so great. So go check it out. I'm excited to see what the Boy Detective has coming up this year. So yeah. So actual number 5, beginning of the actual list, is Falling Behind by Motion Sick. We played a show with them. They were an amazing opener. I hadn't really listened to much of them. Whenever I would go to a show, like we're getting ready on the way, and I don't know the artist, I'd actually pull them up so we could listen to them on the way, just so I can know a couple of their songs and either sing along with it or just know, like, I'm going to really like this song. And we had listened to the single that had came out at the point, which is Yugi Moto, which I thought, that's a really cool, like, you know, they're kind of nerdy, so pulling in, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh! I was a big fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! And then GX when I was a kid. So like, oh, this is cool. And then the next song that came on was Ramona Flowers. I was like, my nerd heart is fluttering. This is amazing. And they're just like very, if Foo Fighters kind of was a punk band vibes for me. It's great, and I love it. So next we have Steal Your TV in Color by the Pink 50s. We played a lot of shows with the Pink 50s, or it feels like we did. I think we did 2. We were supposed to do a couple more, but unfortunately we had to bow out for medical reasons. And it sucks because I love the Pink 50s. I want to go see them more. It's just they're located a lot further south of me, so I can't really make their shows. A lot of these bands are kind of like that. Living in the middle of nowhere kind of sucks sometimes because there's a lot of cool shows I want to go to. They're just really far away. And the Pink 50s is a really good example of that because they're a fun, straight punk rock band that has, I almost want to say, a little bit of hip-hop influence, just with the way that the bass player, there's a song where he just kind of does slam poetry. I don't know if that's the right term for it, but it's that vibe. And it's really cool. So I recommend checking them out. Next is a album that I could listen to forever. Whenever I turn on the first song, I have to complete the album. It is a don't skip a single song track album. And I think all 3, the top 3 of the year are like that for me. And this is just, it's 12 songs, I think. And that's Love Bites by the Killing Pixies. I wanted to actually fit this and the number 1 spot in this year for like an album review. I just didn't have the time. So that's going to be probably the first 2 of next year. But is this one and then the number 1 spot. So it is a awesome full album. They take a couple singles from like the earlier stuff and they did put it in here, but you can tell they remixed it, like they re-recorded it, and it sounds great. It's very politically motivated on some songs, which I absolutely love. I love their whole, I'm in your face, this is my energy, listen to me, I have something important that you need to hear. And I love that. And then they have some songs that are very like, oh man, this just hits you in the feels. Like there's one song that it's just Pixie and just singing with a guitar. And I don't know if Pixie's playing the guitar in that. Probably not. It might be Gabriella. I'm probably saying her name wrong, but the guitar player. I know Pixie plays guitar a little bit too. And it makes me really sad, but in like a good way. It makes you really like experience, I want to say, a little homesick when they're on tour because they did a lot of touring this year. And it's just the way that the song vibes. It makes me feel like, oh man, like I'm on tour. I'm alone. I'm stuck in my head. It's 4 a.m. and I want to be at home, and I'm not at home, and I miss it, and that's cool. So please, please go check out this album. I will do a full album review next year. It'll be probably the first one. I don't know when. It might be next week or the week after. We'll see. So yeah. Number 3 and number 2 were really hard because I wasn't sure where I wanted to put them, how I wanted to. But Radio Pirate DJs, Something Somewhere About Someone is just so packed full of great songs that I was so hyped for hearing these songs, because as the singles came out, I was like, yes, and so it took the number 2 spot for me. It is a really good evolution of, you can hear, like, if you listen to their older stuff, like Kimberly Vegas, where they were to where they are now. I mean, they took a big hiatus, but between back in the day and now, and it's so interesting to hear how their music has changed and how they've shaped as artists. I went that into more detail on the album review. Go check that out if you want to hear my full thoughts. But it's number 2. I mean, it's a great album. So for my number 1 pick, it's Never the Crash's Lessons in Grace and Violence. It's just a banger of an EP. It's 5 songs long. Every song on here is fantastic. I don't skip any of them every time I come on, much like the last 2, but this one especially. It's cool. I love the whole, like, colors too. The blue. I'm gonna do a full album review of it next year, probably. I don't know if I'll do that one or the Killing Pixies one first, but it's really, really good. I'm a big Never the Crash fan. Yeah, so they're all the band members are super nice. They've been very supportive with, like, my music and trying to get where I belong in a band at some point. So yeah, I really appreciate that. I'm hoping someday I'll be able to open for them again, because I love this band. I love all of these bands. I'd love to open for all of these bands. Like, my goals for 2024 is to get into a music project, a band of some sort, so I can open for all of these amazing bands. And just play shows and write music. But I would love, honestly, I couldn't see myself being able to open for, like, the Killing Pixies. They're usually booked almost I don't know. Like, last time when we tried to book a show with them, they were booked like 7 months in advance. So, who knows what their plans are. Maybe someday it'll work out. But yeah, I'd love to open for all these bands again, because they're all really good and talented artists that definitely deserve you to listen. So please go check these EPs out, go check the bands out, like them, do all the things on all their socials. I'll try to tag all of them as well, so you can see their YouTube channels or Facebooks, whatever I can find for them, and yeah, put it in the description below. So anyway, guys, this is probably the last video of 2023. Thank you all so much for sticking with me, subscribing, watching everything. I'm going to continue to do album reviews. I'm going to continue doing shorts. I might venture into doing some, like, full songs. We'll see. But, seriously, thank you. And, yeah, here's to looking to 2024. Anyway, guys, for the last time this year, Jack Punkington signing out. Peace, everyone.